So coming in at number 4 with 16 points, it had a 90% score. Both Catan and myself voted for it. I put it at number 4. Catan put it at number 2. It's a beautifully animated, smartly written, and stocked with sing-along songs. Frozen. Catan, I'm gonna let you go with this one first.
Oh god, everyone's gonna hate me. I was kidding. I don't know this. Okay, I'll say this. I do like the songs. The songs in this movie are really good. Like, you know, classic songs. I remember working at camp. Literally everyone would sing Frozen like every single day. Phil can testify to that. Like every single day that summer. And so I actually don't mind the songs. Like the songs are really good. The animation, honestly, like is good too. I think the story is very boring. So I just don't find it. I just never found it attractive. Because like, especially like, I don't know, meeting someone and falling in love within like a couple of minutes, that's probably a bad sign. You know, stuff like that.
That's a Disney trope.
Yeah, true. I just didn't like the movie. Like I said, visually it looked good. The music was really good. I think it's the story. I love story. Story's my big go-to for any type of movie. And if the story doesn't grab me, like, you lost me. So.
I'll go ahead and say, the movie sucked. The movie sucked. I'm gonna put it out there. I was billed to this is the next Lion King. Lion King. Lion King.
Lying to you.
Oh wow, this guy. You put my expectations here. Lion King is one of the greatest animated movies ever made. You are putting this movie up there. Alright, Lion King, are we sure this is better than Hunchback of Notre Dame? Because I'm questioning that. This movie, it was just bad. Like, it was dumb. It was stupid. I don't get it. Yeah, I guess, like, I'm not a big as into the songs like everybody else. Let It Go. I'll admit, it's kind of catchy. Build a Snowman, I know people love that, but just the whole thing of like the true love's kiss, and then, oh, but we're so different. Instead of the guy, it's the girl, it's her sister that saves her. We're so cool. Like, can you get it? Like, no, your movie still sucks. Like, I don't get this. It's an 85% audience score. Did we watch the same movie? Like, what is this? Look, if you're a little kid and you watch this movie, fine, be it. But if you're 18 years and older, like, please explain to me what made this movie great. What was so good about this? I don't get it. I will give you the song they do at the beginning with that Prince and Anna. Okay, cool, kind of funny song. But again,
My favorite part of that movie is when the bad guy is like, only true love kiss can save you, and he's like, but too bad no one loves you. That was my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say your favorite part of the movie is when it ends.
Oh, that too.
I think I speak for both Bobby and Vitamin as being parents. I could never see this movie ever again and be happy.
Yeah, I could. I mean, my son does like Let It Go, but I think every kid likes Let It Go. And I'm sure when my daughter gets old enough, she's going to love it.
I will say, I still have not seen this movie to this day.
Don't waste your time.
I'll tell you this. Another friend of ours, Josh, him and I saw the movie for free in theaters.
And you still felt worked off, didn't you?
I did. And man, we were the only ones without kids, and we're like, oh, we probably should not be at this movie.
I mean, it's an okay movie.
It's just, I've seen it way too many times.
I saw it for free too because at the time I was working for Chick-fil-A and they had us go for a Christmas party. Thank you for that, but still, I hated the movie.
The Snowman is the less hit version of Donkey from Shrek.
The Snowman is definitely the best part for me.
Yeah, all off. Yeah.
I'll give you that, but even then, I still felt, I could care less about Anna, could care less about Elsa. Sorry, I didn't feel sorry. I didn't really feel that sorry for her. Like, cool. I'm just gonna
I get it.
We got it.
You know, drink some water.
Not bad. I just don't get it.
We hurt your feelings about it.
Sorry.
What we got next?
Okay. All right. We're all gonna take a breath before we do this movie.
I think you can take a breath.
Well, one of us is gonna need a breath. This is gonna be one that's gonna star. This movie has featured in arguments before with our group. Remember earlier when we were talking about recommendations from Jacob? This goes back to it. This was one of the ones, and it is. I feel quite a bit of us not fans. At 83%, it came out in '98. Comedy. That's in the loosest of terms.
In quotations.
In quotation marks. 2 hours long. It is a typically stunning visual and sharp dialogue from the Coen brothers. It was voted number 1 by Max and Candace. Voted number 3 by myself, coming in with 28 points. The Big Lebowski.
I'll start this off, Jake. You wait a second. First of all, Philip read the thing. It said sharp dialogue. It said sharp dialogue. What was the exact thing?
Yeah, it says typically stunning visual and sharp dialogue.
Sharp dialogue. I'll put a scene in here for you. Tell me how sharp this is. There's literally a scene in this movie. He goes, dude, man, dude. Is that smart dialogue? It's supposed to be funny because he says dude all the time?
This aggression will not stand, man.
Look, Jacob sold me hook, line, and sinker in this movie. He could have, it was snake oil is what this dude was selling me. This movie, one, is not funny. Well, there is one funny person in this movie. It's John Goodman, and that's because he's a national treasure. And the bowling scenes were kind of good, but the movie as a whole, not funny. I think my biggest reason I didn't find it funny is because I was not inebriated of any sort. I was not on drugs. I think you have to be to enjoy this movie. And maybe I just don't get the Coen brothers. This movie didn't do anything for me. I watched it with my wife and another person, and at the end of it, after none of us laughed through the whole movie, I apologized to the other person, said, I'm sorry. Jacob recommended that movie for me. He said it was good. Okay.
When Jacob talks about maybe it doesn't have enough explosions and it's too sophisticated, I'm sorry, maybe this movie was too dumb. Like, I don't know what you're talking about when you recommend Big Lebowski. I do not find it funny. Like, point of a comedy is to make me laugh. I chuckled.
Maybe, and that was probably because I felt like I had to because I hadn't laughed yet.
Yes, I chuckled. That was it.
You start chuckling.
Maybe.
They break the seal.
It had a 93% audience score. Go ahead, Jake.
Let's see what you enjoyed about this movie.
Everything. This movie is hilarious. It's one of the funniest. It's one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. Honestly.
Okay, well, when you first watched it, you don't have to say what you were on. Were you on something?
Like,
I'm not gonna answer that.
I plead the fifth.
Either way, not only do I think the dialogue is well written as a whole, I think it's one of the Coen brothers' best written movies. It is a great parody film of a noir movie. I love the dude's whole demeanor, the lack of ambition of him. Most of his dialogue is repeating stuff other people have said, but it works so well. It's so fun. Donnie, Steve Buscemi, and John Goodman are perfect side characters in the movie.
They were the best part of the movie.
And I love it, Jeff. I love it. The whole thing. My favorite. Well, it's one of my favorite movies.
I'll be honest, I only seen like 20 minutes of this movie.
Look, my wife laughs at everything. Even
And it
terrible
has one of the funniest dubs for like the censored version. I'm not going to say the actual line, but like the John Goodman when you like there's a scene where he's about attacking a person's car, and the dubbed line is, "This is what you get when you find a stranger in the Alps." But the uncensored line is much different. I'll tell you later. It's up there with the Snakes on the Plane dub of.
that one had one of the most epic dubs of all time when Samuel Jackson said, I'm tired of these MF snakes on this MF plane. It said, I'm tired of these monkey fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane.
That's great. I approve of that.
Monday to Friday plane.
That's great.
That's a long plane.
But I'm gonna say, I watched 20 minutes of it. I turned it off at that point. I wasn't interested.
I've never even started.
I mean, in the movie, the dude does drugs too. I mean, I feel like next time maybe I should join him and see if that works for this movie. But I really like to stick to this again.
I like the absurdist humor that's in it, and it's insanely quotable. I quote it pretty much daily.
Look, all I know is, Jacob, don't ever recommend a movie for me again.
Oh, okay.
But really, Titanic's really good.
It just. How does comedy not make me laugh? That's a point
There's
of
a, there's,
comedy.
there's a line I want to say to you, and that's what John Goodman says to Donnie the whole time.
I know what you want to say.
Look, I'm sorry, it didn't work, and you saying it's Coen's brothers, I'm sorry. They had better ones.
There's a scene. There's a
Oh,
scene where
sorry.
Jeff Bridges writes a check for like $1, but then if you look at the date, it's dated for like a year in the future. So he is so cheap and poor that he writes a check for $1, like $1 or less, and dates it a year in the future because it's too cheap to pay for it right now. Pretty
So,
funny.
so let me get this straight. The reason you like it is because Jeff Bridges reminds you of yourself. Because that sounds like
It
what
must
it
be
is. It must be it. Because is that why?
With the much better hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With some pearly locks and
They
yeah.
did have.
Heck
No.
of a goatee. Heck of a goatee.
I wish I was as zen like as the dude. I wish.
Well, I'm not gonna be watching it probably at any point in my life.
I mean, the dude has no ambition. I would like to say kind of a little bit, you know.
I'm glad
And
we found
it's
this
got,
argument.
it's got the Jesus. It's great. One of my favorite movies.
The movie, you should probably watch that.
Top 5 of my favorite comedies, for sure.
Well, I give you that as top 1.
I will definitely also say I was also disappointed for the cast. Like Jeff Bridges, I generally like his stuff. John Goodman.
You're right there.
I believe it's John Goodman is one of his favorite roles.
He was good, man. He was the best part.
But no. All right. Number 2 came in at 93%. Hunter is the only one who didn't vote for this one. I think it's because you haven't seen it. We have collectively as a group stopped the same thing. There's some group think here. It came in 93% critics score and with an 87% audience score. Myself, D3, and Max all voted it as 2. Ian voted it at 10. Candace and Vitamin J both voted it at number 8. It is the 2017 adventure sci-fi added to MCU Thor Ragnarok.
Look, they treated Ragnarok like a complete joke. Ragnarok's supposed to be the end-all be-all in Norse mythology. He treated it like a joke, and the jokes was so easy to see that it's coming. You could tell the jokes were coming from a mile away. The best part was Jeff Goldblum.
That's where he's the best part of most things he said. This movie, I don't think is a bad movie, but most people generally put it in the top 3 to 5 Marvel movies, and I don't see how you put anywhere near that. I thought it was more average than good. I think the rewatch value of this is pretty low because it's mainly a comedy, so once you see the jokes, it kind of falls flat the second time. And some of the jokes weren't even that good. Like when the Hulk says he's about to jump out the plane and he lands. Like, I saw that comment.
When he throws the ball against the
wall. I knew it was a bounce back.
I'm gonna tell you something for a minute. It's not okay or average movie. It's a terrible movie. And if I was to give it a score, I'll give it about 15%. Wow.
Yeah. Go, Vitamin J.
I'm really tired of the Marvel movies trying to make all the characters have quirky humor. Okay. There's the female Ghostbusters movie. Chris Hemsworth is in it, and he does like a lot of improvised comedy lines. And I feel like they saw that and was like, let's put that in Thor Ragnarok, and it'll be a hit. And I was sick of it, because not every character has to be comedic. This is one reason why like sometimes I prefer some of the DC movies because I like some seriousness sometimes in movies and sometimes even superhero movies, because no matter like you can watch any Marvel movie but nothing bad's ever going to happen because you know they never take themselves too seriously.
I can't stand it. I just can't stand it.
A lot like the whole beginning of the movie starts with comedy and like Bobby said, this is the big giant creature that Clancy Brown voices, like he's supposed to be big serious, but then it's like Thor does this joke about, oh, wait till I spin around again to say some other dumb joke. It's just, I don't know. I don't think it's going to age well at all.
It's definitely, I think, the most overrated Marvel movie. What are we talking about now? But Yeah, they treat the Searcher destroying Ragnarok as kind of a joke. And anyway, it's kind of like that the end when he did it is kind of a, I don't know how to phrase it, it's kind of cheesy that they did it. It's like, oh, here's the Ex Machina, here we go. Here's the only way I can beat my sister is if Searcher destroys Ragnarok.
Yeah. For me, like, I think for most overrated, it's not, I think it's, like, I don't think it's as bad as Bobby. I thought it was okay. Probably on the lower okay. I think what helped for me with the movie is Kate Blanchett's character is probably one of the better villains. I did like her character. She did a good job in that, which that's really one of the saving graces.
That's why I gave her 50%.
Yeah, like I think she does a great job. My issue is what they turned Thor into is like being. I'm gonna say Thor is not supposed to be a comedian. Thor is funny because he doesn't get Earth customs. That's why he's funny. It's because it's so. Like in the first Thor, I laugh when he smashes that cup and says another because that's not like what are you doing? I think that's funny. But then like the whole spinning around like Jacob said, like the first time I laughed, the second time maybe it choked. Third time I'm like, all right, this joke's getting old. All right, it got old real quick, and it just like they said. When I could tell a joke, oh, in 10 seconds another joke, it felt like a lot of jokes that were just not needed. And it was like, I don't need this much jokes in my movie.
Right,
like,
they
come on.
almost every 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's like, oh, 2-3 minutes, and yeah, when I'm telegraphing the joke, it's just like, okay, here it comes.
I do, the one good thing, I do love Korg, is that his name?
Oh yeah, he's pretty funny. Like, I was fine with him. He's kind of funny. That was pretty funny. The whole, like, supposed to be more like Ragnarok is really a lot more serious.
I will add that, like, okay, so if you watch Thor from Thor 1 to Thor 3 and combine them, they're like completely different. It's just not like it's just taking a completely serious. It's not completely sorry, completely comedic tune. Whereas the reason why Thor was comedic in the first movie is because he was a little god who who like did things that wasn't normal on Earth, and it was just kind of funny in the setting it was in. Whereas now it's just, oh, I'm gonna do these human jokes that, again, won't age well in a few years.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I think the best way to represent this show is kind of if Disney Plus was around back then, you could see this as like an episode on a TV show. And the thing is, it wouldn't even be like one of the main episodes. It'd be like a side story. Like, here's a filler until we give you like the actual meat and bones of the story. That's what it felt like to me, at least. So.
And I will give it had a couple ones. When he sees Hulk, that was pretty funny. Unfortunately, I saw the trailer too many times, so it wasn't as funny.
I thought it was funny when Loki saw Hulk.
Oh yeah, when it got slammed, yeah, that was pretty funny.
That was my favorite part of the show, the movie, and no one laughed at that. I was like, that's the funniest joke in the whole movie.
That was solid, but yeah, there's just a couple times I'm like, oh, here we go. Oh, there we go. I will. So it's just it was.
I did think Carl Urban's character. I forget his character's name. I thought that character was terrible. Remember that?
Oh yeah, that
He was
was.
supposed to be like her executioner or something.
Yeah,
That's a shame because he's such a good actor.
I know.
He was wasted.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Okay, I can go my whole life without ever seeing this movie again and be happy.
One good point for seeing people.
I definitely felt like I've watched every MCU movie. Today, even like with Black Widow, I definitely put it in the bottom half of the ones I've watched. I still think it's better than like Iron Man 2, but
It's better than Thor: Dark World.
yeah, I'll give it better than Dark World, but like better than the first Thor. No, I thought the first Thor. Like when you with Max over there talking about. People are going to put in top 3. Like, whoa, are you kidding me? Like, it's not better than any of the Captain Americas. None of the Avengers full movies. I would actually rank both Ant-Man's better than it. So, yeah, I don't think I'm putting it like
more average. It's not a 93 critic, 87 audience.
But I think it's 1% low on critics and The Dark Knight. They shouldn't be anywhere in the same sentence.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of people think this was a classic. I mean, a lot of people like comedy, so that's probably why. But like I said, the rewatchability of that movie, I think, is going pretty low.
It's 0 to me. It's
not really. And I mean, over some of the DC stuff, like I put Man of Steel and
Okay, I'm sorry.
Aquaman easily over both these.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but these characters deal with end of the world scenarios. Sometimes they gotta be serious.
Yeah, it's like
If I had to put this next to Wonder Woman, it's like 100 times better movie than this.
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, it again didn't land. You know, movies are sometimes subjective, but just did not work for any of us. Like,
It was okay. I like it.
yeah, it was okay. Like again, and it's not we dislike humor. It's like Iron Man is funny. I get that. Like you're fine with making Iron Man comedic. Like I will be fine with that in the movie. But it's like trying to make Captain America comedic. No, Captain America is not a comedic character at all.
And the jokes he did was because he's so pure-hearted, like
Yeah.
the swear jar or whatever.
Yeah.
But in the Thor Ragnarok, they can make Thor do some jokes, but they overdid it.
Yeah, they overdid it, and it's like, no, this is not what Thor's funny for. It's like, yeah, because again, like in Avengers, Infinity War, Endgame, I laughed at the ones he put there, because again, it went back to what Thor is, you know, or him like, you know, again, fat Thor.
And it was funny because he's a, I guess you want to call it a fallen god.
Yeah.
So he's a shell of himself,
Mhm.
and he's trying to find his way back. So it's funny just to see that. Turns out that's why that was funny.
Mhm.
But Thor Ragnarok really wasn't because he's still Thor.
Yeah, it's like what, and at this point, like, some didn't work with the trope. Yeah. Also, I mean, it was okay. I will give it best villain out of all. This was,
The Thor movie.
yeah, out of all the Thor movies.
Besides, I guess the Loki movie.
Besides Loki, but Loki switches all the time, so I'm like, but otherwise I feel pretty good with Kate Blanchett. Probably saved the movie for me.
But yeah, it was Overrated movie's average, but I think we got an even more average movie coming up.
Mm.
Well, you said average, I said terrible, and that one's gonna be more terrible.
So no fans around here. Sorry if we disappointed. Don't blow up our comments too badly.
At me.
So we're gonna go with some honorable mentions. The first one, I'm sorry. We need to discuss this one. We just need to discuss this one. Okay, both Max and his wife put this movie on their list. It is 10 on Candace's. It is a 4 on Max's. Toy Story 4. Are you kidding me, Max?
Wow.
Oh, well, like, disrespect.
The shade.
Toy
The
Story.
shade.
Now, the movie, again, this one isn't bad. I like it better than Thor Ragnarok. The reason I put this on here is because I thought it was a tier below the original trilogy of Toy Story. This one, when I left the third one, I left that theater saying, wow, that was a great movie. When I left the fourth one, I was like, wow, that was an average movie. That was
Do you have a heart? Do you have a heart?
Yeah, that's why I said
Do
the
you
third.
have a heart?
That's why I said the third one was amazing.
I do kind of agree with you on this, honestly.
The third one was better. I mean,
The third one felt like the
No.
perfect ending. It
Yes,
felt like
perfect.
it felt like the ending of Indiana Jones 3. It's like they ride out in the sunset, you know. Andy gives up the toy. It's like it felt like just a perfect ending. And then, but the movie was fine. But I can see how it could upset some people. If that makes sense.
Overrated, I think it's a good movie.
It is, but I'm comparing it to the original. I thought it has nothing on the third or the first one. Nothing on it. It doesn't even come close to me. Now you can argue the second one because the second one's the worst of the three, of the first three. But yeah, I was just very underwhelmed because it's a Toy Story movie, so the bar is exceptionally high because they haven't missed yet. And I thought I won't say it's a miss, but this is not Toy Story level.
I'm just gonna disagree with you. I mean,
I'm gonna put it this way. I think your opinion is stupid. All right, it's stupid and wrong. Okay, first of all, I agree with you. Was it as good as third one? No. Third one I hold in high regard. First one, the nostalgia especially. I still love the first one. For me, in Toy Story, it's 3, 1, 4, 2. In my how I rank it. Fourth one, I was a little scared when it came out because I was like, because there was such a distance, but I know there's been a difference or a gap between each movie. I felt they ended the third one very well with Andy driving away, just because, you know, like and just so that you all remember, you know, a lot of us, we're like late 20s right. We're all like late 20s at this moment in time of recording. It might not be when you watch this movie. When you watch this, we probably aren't. Some of us will not be still in our late 20s. But watching the first one, and I remember loving the first one. It was always my favorite. It was my favorite anime movie till I saw the third one. The story with Andy. But I felt this one also gave a nice ending and send off. Like the ending was great with Woody and like a really good send off. I felt it still was good and still delivered on what I wanted from a Toy Story. The whole thing with Woody and Forky, and kind of like that thing about how important a toy is to a child. And I think that theme of what Woody is trying to do for Forky and why he cares so much is showing that importance of a child having a toy. All the things a toy can represent to a child. I started looking back of the first one where Woody would not let Buzz overtake him as the favorite toy, to now Woody's trying to have the favorite toy with the child. Like he's completely changed and understood, like, I don't have to be the favorite toy anymore. My job is to make sure she has her favorite toy. I felt that was such a great character moment. The end when he kind of leaves and goes with Bo Peep, again, spoiler alert, goes with Bo Peep, and like, I don't know what it just hit.
It melted your heart.
It hit me correctly.
What else we got now?
It did hit me. Hey, if you got a problem with it, talk to me.
I don't know what you're talking about. Next one I'm going to hit with, this movie's gotten so many Oscar nominations. I think it's tied or has the most Oscar nominations, and I think wins. A lot of us were not fans. Bobby, you had it at number 3. I had it at number 9, Titanic.
Just boring, dumb. Maybe just like Leonardo DiCaprio for so long. The emotional impact at the end, I felt nothing. I felt nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think it was. It's not a terrible movie. I mean, it's long, but I mean, as far as like overrated,
Overrated. It should not have more best
I mean,
I actually don't think it's bad. I actually somewhat enjoy it.
No, don't enjoy it.
3.5 hours.
Two VHSs.
It's long, but I mean, I don't know if it's a top 10 overrated film.
This dude said he feels nothing about it. The scene at the end, these 2 old people are in their bed about to drown. He feels nothing. They're in each other's he feels nothing.
I'm with Bobby because it took so long to get there. It just took so long.
Ending with Old Rose is one of the dumbest endings ever. She just throws a stone in a priceless end. The guy's like, oh no. The whole thing is
my problem with the ending is like, when she goes like back to the Titanic, like when she dies or whatever, and like she's waiting for Jack, but like then she married this other guy. Yeah, and had kids.
Forget that guy.
So like he meant nothing, but this guy she had a fling with 70 years ago or whatever.
I would be feeling some type of way.
I like and the granddaughter's like there. It's like, so you never loved.
Yeah, so that's my problem with the ending. I'm like, so this guy you lived your whole life with meant nothing, but this guy you maybe had a couple days with, and he drew you naked. Oh yeah, he's the guy. You know, like what?
That would.
And when she threw that price in
Wait,
the ocean, and the guy's like, oh yeah, my whole life I was looking for this, and I'm just not going to bother getting it because your story changed.
Yeah,
no.
That's kind of weird too.
And when Rose goes to heaven and she meets her husband, I'm gonna be like, oh, if I was him, I'd be like, so Jack, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, we spent what, like 60 years together?
All those years, the kids, nothing. Okay, cool.
Jack guy's like, how come we didn't try to put me on that door? How come we didn't
How
try
come we
that?
didn't try that car stuff?
So I feel like I have to effort to get on there.
Yeah, I didn't get no steamy car.
I'm going to hit another movie that's in one of our lists at the same time we hit this movie. It's kind of like in Return of the King. I'm sorry, it takes forever to
It's too long.
It takes too long to end. It takes
Dude,
I love that movie. You guys are wrong.
I don't care anymore.
You said
Sorry,
At the end of Titanic, when she's like leaning over, there's an old woman. You're like, you just want it to be over with. That you're willing to probably push her over.
I was gonna say about Return of the King. This is probably says more about me, but like me and my cousin halfway through we left Return of the King to watch the classic movie Stuck on You with Matt Damon and Greg
That
Kinnear.
does say a lot about you.
My nickname for Lord of the Rings Return of the King is called The Movie That Never Ends.
Oh god, like
And now
Because they finished the whole deal with the ring and all that, blah, blah, blah. Then they take 45 minutes or so
Yeah.
to say
Wish,
goodbye.
I wish.
yeah, it's like another hour. It's like another hour.
I still haven't finished.
Because remember, they do the whole another battle. They do another battle after the ring because they need to. For some reason, that makes no sense at all. But what?
I love that movie was a classic for its time. It looks so good even up to this day. I cannot hate. I love all the books. I can't hate it. They could have made it 2 hours longer. I still don't watch it all.
just end it.
I'm sorry, Ian. I still to this day have not finished it.
It's like in The Last Jedi. It's like in Return of the Jedi. If after the Death Star is destroyed, the whole point of the movie, or like in Avengers after they destroyed and beat Thanos, you still got another hour after you built up to this thing. You got no, bro. It's 20 minutes and you end this movie. Like end this movie. I'll give you 20 minutes to end this movie. Like come on, I'm done. This movie's already long enough. Like,
To play devil's advocate, I will, just because everyone seems to be against me on this particular one, I will say it's fun. It is fun when you see characters when they do their big deed. A big part of the reason it was long was because they really wanted to show where these characters were going afterwards. Because if you had a big adventure story, it's cool to see, oh, this person got married with this person. These things happen for a reason. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool seeing the legacy, and because like if we all went to World War III, our story is not going to end, when the last battle happens and we won. Hopefully, it would be, oh, we're going back to our family. We're gonna take the story to the next level. We're gonna tell our kids about, we did all this crazy stuff. And so I think a lot of people like movies where you have action, but if you don't have the time periods in between where you learn about what just happened, how does this affect our families, how does it affect people back home, I really think that those points of the movies can matter too, because it's closure. To have really good closure, I don't think you can just have like an epic battle, beat the boss. You want to have like the after, what happens after a bit, what do people think, if that makes sense, if you can understand, if you care about the story enough.
I don't mind closure. I like that, but can we wrap this up?
Closure don't take an hour.
Okay,
10 minutes.
I'm gonna take another movie. It's called the Harry Potter series. All right.
Yeah.
So in Harry Potter, when you build up to 7 movies, and the whole point is you're gonna fight Voldemort, you know what they do? They go ahead, fight Voldemort, kill him off. Yeah, do I need to know every single thing about Harry's life after that? Yeah, show me a little bit. But they wrap it up in 20 minutes and show, okay, and I can assume the rest. I don't need to actually see the next 20 years of his life, bit by frame. End the movie, man. End the movie.
Can I say?
The whole climax is done. I got 20 minutes left. Also, I might be trying to go to the bathroom, and I gotta hold it. And I'm like, bro, end this stupid movie, man. I'm trying to go. Like,
I will say on one note, the offer for Harry Potter is still live, and they knew at that point they were still going to make movies. Where Lord of the Rings, it's like the offer's been dead. It's like you can't really make a sequel to it exactly. Harry Potter, they're going to be making movies probably long after we're dead. The offer's going to be around for a while.
You could have wrapped it up quicker. I think all of us feel you could have wrapped that movie up quicker.
Unfortunate thing about Lord of the Rings, they did the same thing with like Star Wars. They like kind of ruined the sequels, kind of like what they did with The Hobbit. Wasn't nearly as good as the like original Lord of the Rings movies. So I just thought that's interesting comparison.
Never bothered.
Yeah.
I do like.
It's a CGI mess. They made Ian McKellen cry.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
What's the one I think of?
Okay. What'd you say?
I was about to say, speaking of Titanic, this isn't the only. We're about to go into another considered overrated James Cameron movie.
Yep. So with 82%, it was myself, Vitamin J, and Bobby D3 all voted at number 1. Wow. Candace voted at number 4. Max voted at number 9. Ian voted at number 8. With 42 points, God, it's an 82 audience score, 82% critic score. It might be more impressive on technical level than a piece of storytelling, but this movie reaffirms a singular gift for imaginative and absorbent filmmaking. It is Avatar, the one with the blue people.
I guess I'll start first because I guess I'm the only one that doesn't view this movie as overrated. because I did not have this on my list. I mean, this movie, I understand the plot has been done a million times, but I thought they did a good job of building this world. What's the world's name again?
I'm pretty sure.
I thought it was Pandora, but
It's Pandora.
Yeah, I thought he did a really good job of building this world to where, I mean, there were people like who were had to go like see like their daughter or their shrinks because they were upset because their life couldn't be like Pandora. So I mean, he really did a good job of building that world up, and it was, I mean, the CGI holds up to this day. I mean, it's beautifully shot. Of course, the lacking part is the story, but I didn't view the story as that bad for it to be overrated.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this movie is average. So we see, I'm sure Jake's going to say a few movies that is about the same as. But yeah, we've seen the story a million times. I just want to put a note. I think Bobby was going to say it. About some of the lazy writing in it, and the metal that they are going to, that they are hunting, that they need from the whatever the people are called.
That's unattainable.
The unattainium.
Untitled. How did you attain it?
Because it's unattainable because it's so hard to get to. They say it's unattainable.
But yes, they got it.
Yeah, I will say one thing about the movie that is interesting to me is that a movie. But is it the highest grossing movie of all time?
Yeah,
It's
second.
Well,
Second.
No, it's now one.
James
now.
Cameron keeps
Yeah.
re-releasing it because he wants it to beat Endgame.
Yeah, it topped Endgame again.
So, but it's interesting to me
Well,
that
it's not
the highest grossing movie of all time has had such little cultural impact.
Yes. Because after a year, nobody gave it. Because it was just. Go ahead.
I said, it's visually stunning. We all agree. It's like one of those visually stunning movies of all time. I can't name you one memorable scene.
I mean, I've only seen it.
Besides that, the hair making them become a couple.
I mean, I've only seen it once, and I can remember most of the scenes.
I can't remember much at all. And two, why is the white man always gotta say?
Well, I mean, I understand that. Yeah.
I feel like they spent so much time on the CGI that when it came to the story, they're like, oh, what kind of story can we put into this? Like, oh, I know. Let's put in a story we've all seen before. And so what is unfortunate is with it is because since we've seen this story before time and time again, that we all know where it's going, yet the movie's 2 hours, 42 minutes long. It's entirely too long when you know exactly where it's going to go.
Yeah.
The characters are so one-dimensional. You got the tough sergeant who like doesn't take no for an answer. You got the businessman who's all about making money. You got the white savior, and you got the tribe that needs the man to save them because they can't help themselves. So it's such an infuriating movie.
And I can't name you a character's name. I cannot name a single character's name.
Now, I will say, I was lucky, shout out to the Powells, because they're the ones who paid for my movie ticket. So I saw this in 3D, and this is one of the only movies that, like, if you wanted to watch something visually stunning, I would recommend for 3D. Like, that's what I would say. You don't watch this without 3D. I think in the theater, it's like kind of lame. Yeah. For me, I think the big thing is I'm not a visuals person. I am more about what is your story, what is your characters, and the development. Like, that's what I care about more, and I think that's where I'm like, yeah, it was cool, it looked cool, but like, what else did you have to it? And I think one thing that hurts it is what it was like, how high it was built up to this like great thing. Like, it was kind of built to like the greatest thing we're ever going to see. And visually, yeah, amazing job, James Cameron. Amazing job.
Hey, Jagger, how many movies do you have with the same plot line? I want to hear this list you have.
So I have a list, and if it doesn't have the exact same plot, it is a similar premise. I have, of course, Ferngully, Dances with Wolves, Pocahontas, Last Samurai, A Man Called Horse, Atlantis Lost Empire, Delgo, Battle for Terra, Dune, and I had a few more, but it was kind of a stretch, so I took those out.
Yeah, I guess that's just it, and I feel it really, like you said, the cultural impact, like, left, and it went away quickly, because I feel afterwards, everybody kind of just saw it and was like, maybe it wasn't as good as we were hyped, like, you know, it's like,
And I don't mind the story as a similar story. Like, at this point, there's been millions of movies. There's barely an original idea left. You just gotta make it different enough and tell it well enough to put yourself above that category. Otherwise,
Your movie's never going to be great when your main actor is Sam Worthington, who can't act. So that
Yeah.
also doesn't help.
He's not terrible.
He's not terrible, and I think
There's a reason why he's not getting any more lead roles. It's because he is terrible.
He shouldn't be a lead actor, but I mean, he's not. He's not like if I see a movie and he's in it, I'm like, oh Jesus, I can't watch this
Well,
crap.
what's the movie you've seen him in since like Terminator Salvation? Like
He
nothing,
was
because he doesn't
in,
get anything.
The only thing I've really seen him in lately is they did a series on the Unabomber, and he was in it, and he wasn't bad in that, and he was the lead actor in it. Also, the guy who does, he's in WandaVision. What's the guy's name? Paul Bettany. He's in it.
Bettany? See, well, he's a good actor, so.
yeah.
well, who is claiming for a sequel or the 4 movies Cameron has planned?
Apparently, James Cameron's playing the first sequel.
Yeah, when we're 80, we might actually see all 4 of them. But, you know,
That sequel is not going to make like I don't even my prediction. And we can come back to this. I don't think it's going to make even half of what the Avatar 1 made.
oh no way. And I will give it. It's one of the only movies to make more or the same amount on its second week open than it was its first week or something.
Yeah,
like
that was like a bad
Yeah, which is like very rare. Usually, at best, you make about 30%.
Yeah, maybe more. So.
You make like 30% your first week's spot, like 30 or I don't think it's more than 50% your first week. Your second, you usually have a huge drop, even in like all the big movies. I think we try to come up with the one-dimensional characters. Like again, it's fine to have a lot of one-dimensional characters sometimes because if you watch what's the movie we like? I can't remember. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. A lot of the characters were one-dimensional except for Caesar. But they had such a good lead character that was very multifaceted that you kind of were able to, and the story was good enough, you kind of left that and were able to forget it, where I think this one didn't have that, like they were trying to, and maybe if they had just like somebody who was a little bit better of an actor to kind of more portray everything, maybe that would have worked. I will give James Cameron the idea was cool, like the idea of the planet and like the animals and that link, and that was interesting and very, very creative. But I still just felt like I saw it once. I think I'm good. Nah, that's
It
it.
shouldn't be the highest grossing movie.
Yeah, I mean, do I think it's the worst movie I've ever seen? No. Do I think it's overrated? Like, yeah. And, you know, maybe even now, like in years, it probably won't be as overrated just because I feel it's going to come down. But yeah, compared to like, yeah.
Like I said, who's talking about it? 10 years from now, who's going to be like, you know, or the next generation, when you talk to your grandkids, like, hey guys, you got to see Avatar. That's a classic right there.
Oh yeah. But I think it was Miller, you got anything?
I mean, I'll just say, like, it's one of those movies where if you just, like, took one of the person in the visual effects and you're like, okay, you're fired. Okay, now I'm going to hire, like, another writer. The movie would be a lot better. Just if you just transfer your power a little bit, you know, it would be, like, a better movie. Just put more people on story.
I'm hopeful that the second one will be better because now they can't copy, you know, a story that's been done the whole time, or maybe they will copy the same story again and but we'll see.
They've had a lot of time at least.
I had no desire to see it.
No, I'm not planning to see it, but I would hope the story is at least more original.
Yeah, I remember I watched and I came away with like, why do they make so much money? I don't get it.
So thank you all for that. That's our list of movies. Just to repeat, tied for number 10, we had Bridesmaids and The Masters. Number 9 was The Witch. Number 8 was Paranormal Activity. Number 5 was The Last Jedi. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, E.T. Number 4 was Frozen. Number 3 was The Big Lebowski. Number 2 was Thor Ragnarok. And number 1 was Avatar. So that's our thought. What do you think is the most overrated movie? And what is there? Is there a movie that we should have added? Or did you disagree with some of these and you are a big fan? Let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to give us a rating, comment, let us know what you want to hear or something you'd love to see us discuss. Thank you guys again. My name is Phil. You can also call me Legacy. You can also follow me at wisdom_legacy on Twitter.
I'm Bobby. You can also call me Bobby D3.
And I'm Max. You can follow me on Twitter at Max_Danger.
Hunter or Talented Hunter.
I'm Ian Katana. You can follow me on my YouTube, Ian and Lesbian. Be 17 plus.
And you can follow me on Twitch, Vitamin J, and Twitter, VitaminJ91.
All right. Thank you all again. And Ian, cue that music.